Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings and Cardboard Podcast. I'm your host, Donnie, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Noah and Thomas. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all Siblings and Cardboard. Guys, Happy New Year's, and how have things been since the last time we talked?
Happy New Year's indeed.
We hosted, so I get to stay home, and we have to just make sure everyone gives us a text message when they get home if they leave early. But New Year's was great. Nothing too much to complain about. My mom was in the hospital. Nothing super serious, like threatening, but still, it was good that she managed to get back on New Year's Eve. So that made me happy.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I'd say that my New Year's was great.
Yeah, we'll take that. Mine was uneventful. As most other people over 30, my New Year's consisted of sitting on the couch and watching TV until I passed out. Well before midnight. I did not make it to midnight.
Oh, I made it way past midnight.
Yeah, I made
good
it.
for you, buddy. Well, that's not true, actually. I stayed up late playing Minecraft, but that was my whole evening.
Build mode, creative mode, single player. What kind of Minecraft?
Survival. Just survival. Just grinding. Just me and my daughter were putting together a castle that we found. We found a tutorial on YouTube, and we were putting together this survival castle. And I had most of the materials because I've been playing on this world for a while. But turns out I need to go get an absolute metric crapload of wood in order for me to complete this build, because I ran out. I mean, I've got a couple of redstone machines that are trying to put together some bone meal and everything, but yeah, it's going to be a process. I ran out of materials to build this thing.
Minecraft is so insane. Like, the level of complexity you could apply to that game is just wild.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I didn't realize how deep it was until the kids started talking about it, and they talked about it for a while before I actually gave it a try myself. And I enjoy grinding in my role-playing games. I like the grind. I love Final Fantasy was always one of my favorite things to play growing up because I liked the grinding for XP and how you built up, power over time. Minecraft has a lot of that same vibe for me because I can just mine in a straight line forever and reap the rewards when I come back to my house.
The way enchanting works too, like you get rewarded for doing that grind.
I'm still getting the hang of that. I haven't got a fully enchanted set yet. I got a couple of good pieces, but nothing to write home about yet.
Played a lot of Fairy Tale Fables over my holiday, and that's what I stayed late up last night playing. It's if you've ever heard of Storybook Brawl, it's basically Storybook Brawl, but that game kind of self-imploded and died, and someone said, hey, it was a really good game, I'm gonna remake it. If you don't know what Storybook Brawl is, most people know what Hearthstone Battlegrounds is.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Great game. I think everyone should give it a try. It's free.
Okay.
Noah, what have you been playing any video games since we're on?
Yeah, just Tarkov, like tons of it.
Wait, no RuneScape?
No, well, RuneScape. So RuneScape usually works itself out. I don't want to. My RuneScape is run by Odie Blocks my laptop, and he does good work. So
you're not really playing a game. It's just an application that's running, right?
Yeah. Jagex, please. I don't do anything wrong. Don't ban my account. No, my RuneScape account's doing A-okay. I did hit some milestones. I got 99 in strength, which was huge. It takes a long time. It took me almost a week. Well, not really me, but Mr. Odie Block's laptop. He's the MVP. I go and check on him. I make sure he's hydrated and stuff, but he's out there busting it. But no, it takes a long time to grind those skills, and so I put in work in that. But no, it's been Tarkov. I wanted to get 6 scav rep. It's like the highest rep you can get, so that the scavs like you. I rushed that. Took me a couple days. So I've just been soaking up loot and selling it.
Okay.
I've been doing what I love to do, just in that game.
So
just soaking it up and then selling it.
Did you ever go to your LGS next to where you're at now and see if they play Flesh and Blood?
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. I called that number that they had on the Flesh and Blood story locator, and it said it was disconnected. So I got disheartened. And then I realized that 4 days ago they make posts and stuff and they have the new location. So I am going to go tomorrow to check out whether or not they do have Flesh and Blood. They're not listed as an event, but they're listed as a retailer or on the store. So I don't know. I actually don't know if they have it. They have Lorcana and stuff. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. If not, there is another local shop that I do want to go to. I want to go to some LGS while I'm out here, and buy whatever. I just buy stuff. I mean, I
give them the Dory experience.
I don't have Dorinthia with me, unfortunately.
Really?
I don't like traveling with my carts. I know that sounds crazy, but I really don't. And I went out here for family stuff. I just didn't think about it. I was like, yeah, whatever. If there wouldn't be a real good time for me to say, hey, let's just go wait in the car for a while I play carts. But I am excited to go back. I do want to play carts in person. But I'm going to go check out the LGS because I want to buy things. I have limited packs while I'm out here, and they're for the shorts. And if I botch a pack opening, I just don't have it anymore. And so I'm running out of things because I'm destroying these pack openings. So there's no dynasty. The variety's really taking a hit. But we're going to try and fix that. I do enjoy doing that.
I think between this podcast and last podcast, we've only made it to one armory. Just because we recorded late and we're back on schedule this week. That was Friday night.
How'd that go?
I played Dash.io, but with no max velocity. I played the BIOS update list and it's weird. I don't dislike it. I want to practice with it more. It plays, you'd think it would be pretty similar with only like 7 cards different, but it's very, very different.
Didn't you win the armory though?
I did.
Even if it is a weird deck, you still won the cold foil at the end of the night.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, I wanted. How big were those numbers? Because I just see BIOS update having.
Okay, so I was playing against Daniel, and he got tilted because he was playing Fi, and I was just better Fi. So he was doing things. Over the course of 3 games, I did BIOS update a Teclopounder out twice.
Oh man.
That's
good.
The goal. Yeah. 8 points
the goal.
Or 11 points of value off of 1 card is very, very good. And that's kind of like what the BIOS update list is trying to do. It's trying to hit those Teclopounders or sometimes the penetration scripts to create these like 1 card 10s.
That's what I was going to ask. These like the 1 card 10s on mech turns, because it's probably not only 1 card coming in for 10 usually on the end of that turn, is scary because it's like the tallness of max V without you having to do the 3 boosts. And so it comes up, I would seem that it would supposed to make your deck more, I don't want to say consistent, but better at dealing having those bigger turns. You're not reliant on that max V hitting its
the idea is you're less
different.
reliant on Toma Findle winning you the game, so you don't have to run 3 in the deck.
Okay.
And then BIOS update, you could put it in Arsenal and it's not stuck there like Tome and Max V can be.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be. I think that's the whole Dash thing right now. I think she's a fine deck. I honestly think she's going to be a powerhouse. I just think that maybe the BIOS update. I don't know. You won the armory.
I mean,
I have to play some Dory against it. It'll be fun.
It's an aggro deck, and aggro decks, I think, can win any tournament ever if they just consistently draw fairly hot. Like my match against Fi, he opened up with like a 3 blue hand, and he's just I'll throw a couple swings at you, and I hope you don't have a lot. And then I did. I swung back at him for like 28.
Yeah, that is a problem when you're playing the aggro matchup and you can't actually apply the threat. Because aggro v aggro, if you don't apply enough threat, they're not going to respect it. Like I would never ever respect a Fi that threw that at me ever. I mean, I would just gladly take the damage and just throw it all back.
Yep, that's what I did.
Matchups that night? What were your matchups on Friday?
I did Fi, Bolton. What was? Oh, Bravo. So it's Bravo, Fi, Bolton. And I think I misplayed into Bolton, but it's Chris. So he's a very good player. So it may not have been my misplay. Solid. He may have just beat me. It's really hard to evaluate. It was a Beacon of Victory turn, and he telegraphed it because he kept 2 cards when he probably should have blocked. So I'm like, or he kept 3 cards when he probably should have blocked. So I was like, I know this is a beacon of victory. I know I need to maybe overblock it or be prepared to get Lumina Ascension, and I still don't think I played it right. And it was a 1-to-1 game. Like, came down to the really fuzzy edge of winning and losing. And I did have a mechanologist hand. I had a hand where I drew 2 red zipper hits, and I saw one on top. And I'm like, okay, this is just game winning. And then I drew 2 items with the red zipper hits. I'm just like, oh, come on. I just needed one other card that blocked with the zipper hits.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. You put non-blocks in. You have to deal with non-blocks ruining your game sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you draw the non-blocks. I also played at the same Friday Night Armory. I lost to Fi in round 1. It was a very, very close game, but he found a little more gas than I did. Round 2, I
What were
played
you
against
playing?
the same. I was playing Uzuri.
Okay.
I decided not to play something well, I didn't decide to play something different. I set my decks out on the table, looked at one of the new guys and said, "Hey, which deck box am I playing tonight?" And he happened to pick the one that had Uzuri in it. So I played Uzuri. And I lost a fight in round 1, but then I also played against Bolton in round 2, and it was a 1-to-1 game, very, very close, but I managed to get it. Then in round 3, I played against Bravo, and it was a very unfair game from my side. I'm talking like uh, block 2 cards, Ravenous into Codex, into Death Touch, into Snaps. I mean, or not Snaps, but Black Tech, just power turn after power turn after power turn. It was
Isn't it
a high
wild?
roll from crazy.
Because you're running Tunic, right?
Yes.
Ravenous into Codex is like a 2-card, what, 16? It's just so insane.
It's not fair, is what it is.
And you know what your ponder's going to draw. Like, so you get to like have information. Like,
no, wait. It was Ravenous into the Death Touch in my arsenal, I think. Then the Codex, and then the Death Touch again.
wait,
I know I used Death Touch
wait,
twice
so
in
you
one turn.
actually contacted with the Death Touch and got to like Black Tech it? Oh, no, that's so. Oh, that's so nasty.
After the game, he was definitely a little unhappy with the way it played out because Codex of Frailty is kind of an unfair card. I'll admit it. It is what it is. But he was a little upset. So we talked about the game after the fact, and he said that he had forgotten that Codex of Frailty existed for a second, and that Uzuri would be playing it. So he didn't play around it, and he got max punished for it. It was. I
don't know how
if you gave him.
I felt so bad.
I imagine you gave him Blood Rot Pox, but you might have hit Did you hit an inertia on one of them?
No, it was Blood Rot every time.
So you did Death Touch into Death Touch. So that's what. You pitched a card.
Yes.
So yeah,
I want to say I started with Ravenous, then pitched a blue to play the Spider Spite, Death Touch from Arsenal, Codex from hand, and then
that's extra information.
I don't remember how I got. I don't know how I got all
he
those
was
cards,
just
but
he
was
you're just kind of screwed. Yeah, because
it was an ugly turn.
You take the hit from the Spider's Bite, and then you look. I gotta give 3 cards to block this, and it might still get shredded or something.
Yeah, like I said, I felt bad for that one, but it was.
Uzuri has a way of putting you in a tough position like that.
Well, Uzuri needs those power turns because otherwise she wouldn't be playable because she is just so consistently only putting out 6 to 10 damage. She's never doing unfair amount of damage. Even that is not necessarily an unfair amount of damage.
It's not. It's just disruption. There's a lot of on hits disruption that comes with what she's trying to do, and she makes it really hard for you to know exactly like what the end result. The end results are too many. I mean, is it a Death Touch from Arsenal? You know, is it a swap? What's the swap in? Is it shakedown? Is it like the whole time it leaves you guessing? Is it just a 1-card contract? You know, you have no idea. So it's like a Dory. Uzuri makes the opponent have to make the mistake and
it's perfectly counterable too, because if he would have had like a blue unmovable in Arsenal, you could just shut it off on the spot.
Yeah, and Also, every time he managed to save enough cards to play a Crippling Crush, I somehow had 2D reacts that lined up on that hand on those hands. I mean,
Well, I mean,
it was a
somehow
blowout. It was an unfair
you're
blowout.
you
Aren't
are
you supposed to try
Uzuri.
to like fatigue Azuri and play
I don't know.
very, very safe? I think you
I mean,
are, but
he was trying to be aggressive, but I just had
Second
better
cycle
aggression.
Uzuri all the time. I think you don't. That's the see. This is the mistake I make as well. Is Uzuri you don't aggro into.
she only has
That's
so
what
many
she wants
threats.
you to do. Yeah, she only. It's like who else is in that same kind of boat with the so many threats? But you know, it's usually Uzuri. You know all the power card. Oh, Vincent, same way.
And Azalea.
So many threats. Yeah, so you just keep track. So it's always a second cycle thing, and especially in Dory, you use your 0 for 4 as your sinks off of swap and leave no witnesses as your pivot turns, and you try your best not to get too worried about the arsenal if you're going to play aggressive. Although then you get Codex of Frailty. So it's a hard balance. You don't want anything in your arsenal because you don't want to get leave no witness. You don't want to not have an arsenal because you don't want to get Codex. So it's tough.
It depends on how things line up.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
has to
just
be that
lined
way,
up
though.
really well for me that game. But
High roll happens. What are you gonna do?
yeah, I mean, like I said, we talked about it after the game, and it felt like everything was good. He seemed to be in a slightly better mood by the time we finished talking and went to go prize out and everything. But sometimes you just get bad beats. That's all there is.
Was this a newer person?
Nah, it's somebody that's been coming for a while. I don't want to name names, but somebody that's been coming for a while.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling a bad beat story. I don't want to give the guy's name.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I just didn't know if it was a newer player, as in, felt like they did something like egregiously.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you just get high rolled. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's somebody that's been coming for a while, but I'll tell you after the pod.
Okay. So,
anybody else got anything before we move on?
I do not. That was all of my flesh and blood for the week.
It's been Tarkov and Gwent. I mean, I do play Flesh and Blood, but it's been Katsu. I've just been enjoying it. I haven't like really met it up on anything. I will be doing some. Hopefully, we get the YouTube up and running, and we'll do some fun streams. Whether it's Prism or Dory, I don't know yet. I'll have to see how these brutes go. It's starting to scare me.
So, how's the market?
Oh, yeah, well, market's
Yeah,
all over the
speaking
place.
of brutes.
Yeah, you're usually the one that's coming up next, buddy. What you got?
So we're not gonna talk about brutes. Because I mean, we could talk about brutes, but then we'd have to talk about.
Man, that was like almost the entire podcast last week.
I know.
Yeah, there was so much to talk about.
Brutes are going to be on the rise. They're going to continue to fluctuate. I mean, all the cards are up. Even that one roll card in Everfest is slightly higher. I mean, not even
High roller
40-cent card. It's not high roller. The other one.
The ready to roll the specialization.
Ready to roll. The specialization one went up to like $1.20 from 40 cents. So even that moved. But I wanted to talk a little bit about, and maybe people heard about the recent news that whole Alpha Investments, like not exactly super thrilled with Fab or whatever, or LSS in general, or pulling out or gonna buy less product or whatnot. But the reason I wanted to start with that is because some of the cards I want to highlight are perfect tonight, are a perfect example of this kind of player-driven market. And so I think sealed product isn't the go-to in Flesh and Blood. I'm not saying that that's all Alpha Investments does, but I think that's the majority of it. I think they give like the whole special promos. They're kind of like the whole Star City Games, right? Get your special promo if you buy the boxes from me, kind of a thing. And I think they're trying to get away from that whole aspect. And as you can tell, I mean, I think LSS has been focusing more on the player and not the collector in terms of trying to make the cards more accessible, in terms of trying to create a better meta for a more competitive play. So I think this is a very player-driven game.
100%.
Where I think other card games might be steered more on the collector side of things, and the collectors kind of drive the player base. I think this is the other way around. I think your modern day player in Flesh and Blood becomes your collector. And the reason is because as Luke and Bucks touched on this in a video, I think he's an awesome guy, super level-headed. I love watching him open packs too. It's just great pastime. That this is a meta-driven game, right? So cards that come out from any set aren't guaranteed to have any value. They're not going to be carried over. They're not multifaceted in some ways where a Shadow Majestic gets to get used in every deck, right? So it's not like Magic. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of your power cards are going to be very class specific, and some of them won't have any value because they have no use yet. and they won't have a use, and that's just how it is. But eventually, they will probably have a use. And we've seen this. We've seen this time over time with the market spikes I talk about. Cards just absolutely skyrocket. Why? The interest, the shares, they get excited, they hype, new cards get released. And so this is the kind of game Flesh and Blood is. So if you're buying it for sealed, if you're buying it for some kind of like, my cards are going to hold on to their value because I just bought them and they're brand new kind of mentality, this is not that kind of a game. And there are going to be sets, and heavy hitters is going to be no exception. There will be cards that just, well, what is this? It's new, but it has no value. It has no time yet. And that's just part of the game. I think that's actually super cool about the game because it has growth. Do you know what I mean? If a card is at its peak right now, then it just kind of is. You get excited about it and okay, that's cool. And it plateaus. It'll only go down. It'll eventually, become so common or whatever, whatever. If a card hasn't hit its time yet, you have no idea what the ceiling is. It's just, I think it adds a cool like mystique to it. But what it also does is allows players to get things usually cheaper because there's just no interest in it. Some of these cards I'm going to talk about are legendaries that are down right now, very down, that you could get for super cheap, that if interest literally shifts to that hero or a hero that uses it, they go right back up. This is the value, is that the players and the meta shifts. It drives the market of certain cards up because that hero is relevant. And then that hero is going to flourish in its spotlight, be a top meta hero, burn out, and then become, living legend or whatever. And you'll see a decline again. And I think that's where your value is going to be in this game, is not necessarily trying to predict it and buy up all the cards, but it's literally a play what you want. Oh, I want to make this deck at some point. It's really cheap right now. Get it. Because at some point in time, if it becomes relevant, it will go. Like this is one of those games. That's the value. Get your cards low. They'll go up. Oh, I don't really like this deck now I'm playing it. Trade it while it's high. Get yourself some other, like this is the natural progression of this game. And so the singles market is the game for Flesh and Blood. It's not the sealed market.
I wait too long all the time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
what
guilty.
is the whole Rudy drama? I saw that video on YouTube very briefly, but then I didn't get a chance to watch it before it got pulled down.
It got pulled down. I don't know why. Again, I can only assume that this is way beyond like normal politics. I assume this has to do with money. I assume this has to do with whatever couldn't be said. I assume that whatever. I assume it's a lot higher or more complicated than just, a monarch debacle or two cards being sold for, what I mean? I think there's a lot more into this. I just think that LSS, Lukenbox, I think said it really great. I think LSS has moved the goalpost away from what they originally thought their vision was, as more of a sealed, and they're catering more to the competitive side and the player. And I think that model doesn't resonate as well with somebody like Alpha Investments, who wants to do very big sealed product and the whole kind of hoarding, as it would with another TCG, because it just isn't that kind of TCG. You have to, again, he said it, you have to play Flesh and Blood to understand the market, because otherwise you have no idea what's relevant, what could be relevant, what was relevant, why it isn't relevant, why this card matters, why that is the pivotal, you could predict the price increase on half of these cards if you knew what was relevant, because you just go instantly, oh, well, then this card goes up, this card goes up, this card goes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these classes are coming. These cards get better.
I think the video is commenting a lot about sealed product pricing and some negative aspects from Rudy's opinion about how LSS handles it and causes sealed product to be hard to move. I think that's what it was, but he spoke negatively about it, and Rudy's kind of almost a representative of the brand in some ways, and there's some flat back from LSS saying, hey, we don't like how you're reflecting our brand, we'd appreciate if you took it down, and he takes it down, maybe in response to that. I even saw someone saying that it was actually in response to something he said about MetaZoo. Who knows? The video wasn't just about Flesh and Blood, so it's not like, I don't think he posted a video of this is why Flesh and Blood prices are terrible and so on. It was just a summary of the trading card game space, period. And he had some remarks that were negative in LSS's opinion.
It was he had a very clear decision. I mean, I watched the video or a video that he had 4 days ago, which, I mean, he talked about this as well. I mean, he has a very clear distinction of what he thinks a sealed product should do, what's healthy, what he thinks is healthy for the, and Flesh and Blood sealed product does not follow that trend. I can tell you that. It will either sink or swim depending on how meta those heroes are. If these heroes come out and they're good, they have a stake, those cards will reflect it, the set will reflect it.
I've talked about this in depth.
Problem right now.
I've talked about this in depth. What was like a really good set that had no reason to buy it? Dusk Till Dawn.
Really?
It had great art. A lot of the art was fantastic. It had some really cool legendaries here and there for other classes, some cards for other classes, but like there's just a bunch of junk in it. And
yeah, that's true. There was
the two new
cards,
the two new classes, the new Vincent, the new Prism, they weren't good.
Nothing. They did nothing on release.
Beautiful set with huge investment in flavor, mechanics, and art. All the heroes were essentially unplayable, except that they boosted Bolton and Levia up to relevance. But the two new heroes weren't even relevant. They're like literally the bottom tier heroes for a little while. Vincent, people have discovered lists of Vincent that do a little better, and now Prism's getting a new weapon, so on. But no, DTD was this beautiful set that no one wanted to buy. And now we've moved on to a set that's very mechanically sound. Bright Lights. Mechanically sound. Wonderful set. Great sealed product. Really cool cards. Awful marvels. Nothing cool to open in the entire box. Like, you can get a couple EAs here and there, like Warband, right?
Yeah.
Standard Art Warband, but
Standard Art Warband and some other
the marvels were garbage. Like, literally garbage. They're cards that are barely played. They're played in two decks. Like, half of the marvels are played in Dash Inventor Extraordinaire, and then the other half are just not played because no one plays as Tech Leviathan.
Yeah, and that's the risk that LSS has taken, driving the power level of the sets down. Is they're trying to get the game balanced again, but at the same time, you're also potentially driving down interest and driving down sales by watering down your sets. I mean, it's scary to think about. They are taking the long-term plan for sure, but the short term is what we're seeing now. Box prices are dropping, and singles are somewhat harder to find. I mean, that's how the market is working, right? I mean, the box, we don't buy as many boxes, we don't buy as much sealed product, and therefore singles start to go back up. I mean, it kind of has to come and go in a cycle, but if we don't have any reason to open sealed product, where are we going to get it from?
What if LSS had never released Dusk Till Dawn? What if we went seamlessly from Outsiders to Bright Lights? I think a lot of that animosity wouldn't even exist, even with the bad marvels. I think it's just like hitting two polar opposites of bad in a row, right? Like Dusk Till Dawn, all these unplayable cards with two unplayable heroes in it, and then Bright Lights, which only hits a niche market of players, and then there's nothing to chase in the set.
I think Bright Lights. I think Dusk Till Dawn was supposed to be a hit. I just don't know if they actually realized how bad Vincent and Prism were going to be.
A bunch of draft chaff in your
expansion.
It was a draft chaff. Yeah, I was going to say first. Yeah, first of all, I think that some of the cards that were printed in that set should have never been printed in that set.
The Shadow Brute stuff was hot dog water. Like
I think that some of that stuff should have definitely been excluded, or I mean, because it just didn't make any sense. I don't think the set was very cohesive in what it offered. I think it had a chase in terms of the artist cards, so in terms of some collector value.
Well, the Angel Marvels are just gorgeous. Like,
right. So what I'm saying is like there was still a reason to open the sealed product, in my opinion. Obviously, what people were pissed about with Dusk Till Dawn was the fact that a favorite hero got recreated and its predecessor or successor or whatever was terrible. And the reprint of Prism fell short of anything anybody could ever want. And so how do they do that? Now, this is why I said it's a meta-driven thing, because they're trying to fix it by saying, look, here's your magical weapon. This is 100%. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can't get mad about, I bought 86 cases and none of my cards have value. I promise you, if that's your thought process with Flesh and Blood, you're always going to lose money in the short term, because the cards don't have any value until they go up, until they become meta-specific. So
that's really scary.
It is a scary thing, but this one, I don't I don't think there's anything to necessarily panic about. I just think what this is supposed to do is to deter somebody hoarding 86,000 boxes sealed for whatever reason to somehow gouge it later, because the cards don't have any worth until they have worth. And even when they do, they're going to be worth for a very short span, because then the cards are going to LL. So your hero is only good as its LL points. You know what I'm saying? So I think LSS is trying to say,
for sure,
how can we keep the players flowing through the game progressively without allowing the collectors or anybody like to like somehow squash it so it doesn't become affordable. And I think they're doing the best they can. Look at the judge chases. I'm even having a change of heart about the Marvel,
because they create these collector items that one they give them the judges first to pay them for
about
judging,
and then it's collector.
You're injecting these 100%. Cool collectibles into. I like it. Give the judges something cool.
Again, I actually, you know what, I'm coming around on it because it makes sense to me. So if you still want to chase your sealed product, know what you're chasing in the seal. You are not chasing the EA cold foils. Well, I mean, you are, but you're not chasing like my legendary, that stuff is going to sink quick. You are chasing the real collector stuff. Know why you're buying the sealed product then, because
or the relevant majestics.
Or the relevant majestics, because again, if like this is if you're a common player and your idea is I just want to play the deck, buy the singles. You're much better off. If you are a collector or a chaser or a gambler or a whale or whatever the hell you want to call yourself, and you want to chase the big packs, then buy the cases, man. Sit there, crack the packs, find the Marvel. That's the hunt. The hunt is for the Marvel, but it should be for the glory of pulling it, in my opinion. I mean, like that's what I like about it. Like, yes, there is something to chase. So I enjoy it. As a collector and a player, I actually feel pretty satisfied with the game. There's a lot of high-end stuff. And I'll point to it. We haven't even gotten to the poor market minute, but this is kind of all intertwined. That gold foil crown, he was talking about, it was about 4,000 or 5,000 whenever it came out, and then it shot up. Now they're selling for $16,000 gold foil crowns. Okay, so I'm saying there is value, high end value, in Flesh and Blood.
Well, part of why
it's just the chase.
You're talking about Crown of Providence, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to go up because now there's a known number, and so you can apply a static market value to the quantity that exists in the world, because there will never be more.
The reverse has happened though, and people complain about it, is that cold foil hearts aren't $30,000 anymore. They're down to like 6 or 7. But I mean, like, okay, I mean, like that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody could realistically support that kind of a market. $30,000. That's a lot for a card.
Now, is that market driven? Is that because no one's playing Heart? There aren't really any decks that use it.
I actually do believe that Heart is not as viable right now because there's not a fatigue. So I think if there was more Oldhim-esque fatigue decks, I think if Yoji comes out right now and he's an adult and I have to deal with everybody playing Yoji fatigue, I think Heart goes through the roof. Okay, mark my words. The second a new fatigue hero comes out where you can literally turtle up like the little turtle you've always wanted to be and play the outvalue game, then you will see Heart. It's a meta driven thing, and I think the cold foil will go up a little bit more for those who want to pay for it.
Fatigue doesn't really fit the theme of heavy hitters, though.
No, he doesn't.
No, I'm just saying fatigue in general doesn't really fit the theme of heavy hitters.
Fatigue doesn't. No, we'll get a fatigue in a weird way. I think whenever they make that all wizard set, one of them will be some weird icy fatigue thing. It'll be a new way of having ice.
Please no.
Yeah, but I like it. I don't want to drive. I think the market's fine. I think that's the way the market plays. I think you need to play it from a player's perspective. I think you need to not worry about it. And if you're a collector, there's obviously things you're going to chase. You're going to chase things that are aligned with your hero that you're trying to play.
Okay.
Even though it's going to be semi-short-lived. So the only card I want to talk about that went up, which is, I think you guys have talked about this before, but I just want to note about it, is Buckle. It's weird. It's a dynasty card. All dynasty cards are going up. It's crazy.
I just saw someone get buckled last weekend.
Yeah, good card, isn't it? So Buckle is a really good way to get rid of those pesky battle worn pieces that you like to block with. And so it's kind of free to run in Guardian. It's a block 3 blue. Let's be real. I mean, it fits the bill as far as I'm concerned.
And it does things.
And
like
it does
really
things.
good things sometimes.
But I mean, not that much. We're talking from a $3 to $4 over underside to now $7-8. I mean, we're not talking anything too crazy. I just want to put it in that's going on the upswing.
Okay.
The next things I want to talk about are things that are relevant to what I just said. They're down. They have no value right now. People are fire selling them. Because nobody plays the heroes. Perfect opportunity to buy them because the second it gains relevance, you've created value. If your whole problem maybe with Flesh and Blood is I don't have a way of like switching around to all these expensive heroes, like here it is. I'm serious because these cards are playable and they literally they will generate value. They will increase. I bought so many Phantasmal Footsteps and they magically all went up. It's crazy. I don't know what happened.
Did you manage to sell them again?
Oh no, because they're sitting at my house right now. I physically don't have them with me.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
They actually haven't peaked yet, so I'm not even worried about it. That's a tip for anybody right now. They still haven't peaked yet. Prism has no defining list right now. Nobody's even played Prism at a tournament with the new weapon. It won't. As soon as that weapon comes out, Prism does something great. Watch those little slippers. Watch them like that. Zoom.
They're kind of required. They're
I know
required gear, and they're really strong.
And the Fabled as well. The Fabled just keeps going up. That cold foil Fable
library?
was the Light of Soul was useless. It tanked faster than any Fabled I've ever seen. I think the only one that tanked faster was the Guardian of
as soon as they found it wasn't playable in Golden.
Now for Prism, everybody's like, please, I want it. Anyway, so these next ones are things that I think that are down low enough right now. Buy them. Right now, here we go. Spellbound Creepers. You can get a $120 cold foil. That's right. It's not even rainbow foil. It's cold foil. Yes, $120. Now, that might have something to do with the fact that so much extra Monarch was apparently printed that nobody ever knew of, and it's been getting just thrown out like hotcakes. Who knows?
I need a pair.
But I think 120 is respectable. It probably won't go any lower than 100. You could probably haggle 100 or 90 off of a site where there's no middleman taking it or anything like that. So I'm being serious. Like, this is a stellar time to get a cold foil pair of those flip pets, because let me tell you that they will go up. The second everybody has to go figure out how to get a damn pair of those boots to play Vincent, Viserai, or the new guy.
Yeah, if Viserai ever gets spicy, they'll skyrocket because there's like a cult of Viserai players just waiting for him to get his
that
stuff.
Sonata Galaxia looks really good for Vincent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's be real. Every hero eventually, right, has to get. I promise you, will
Every
have
hero
some
will
time.
have its time in the sun.
Even if it has to wait until all the heroes are all gone, they will eventually get it. And imagine if that's where the game is going, because all the old heroes will get, power creep, or not power creep, but they'll leave, and then you'll have the squished, less powerful meta. It'll be fun. We'll see. Except when Dora goes, I'll be so sad. So Spellbound Creepers, you got to get them. Grasp of the Arknight, that's the second one. We talked about it before. It's still $50. I went up a little bit. It was 40. Then we talked about it a little bit. I think Vincent uses it. It's just a great piece. It's from Arcane Rising Unlimited. That set is not in print anymore. Let me be clear. You can get it in History Pack, but it's only on white border. Mm-hmm. They might reprint it again. This would be a very good reprint card. If I totally agree with that. They might reprint it. But if you like the rainbow foil aesthetic, you like the foil aesthetic, you like having it from an older set, whatever, $50 is totally fair. I think it definitely goes up. And then I want to talk about Tekla Foundry Heart, which is from Arcane Rising, which is all the way down to $60 now. Arcane Rising.
Wow.
Now I know it's had a couple of reprints, and so obviously that's impacted it. And obviously it's not max rarity because it's not cold foil. So if you're like a rarity seeker, this is like that middle. But I still think, for the fact that it's from that set, it's rainbow foil. If that's what you want, it's also black border. Also looks nice in the foiling. I just think that that's a very fair price. I mean, you could probably even haggle it a little bit lower. I think there might be a little resurgence for a rainbow foil version if those mech heroes start picking up.
And I don't think
Steam again.
Mechanologists will ever get a better chess piece.
No, it's battle worn. Let's be real here. Unless they ban that chess piece, like if a new mech comes out down the road, like it has to be.
It's
unless they
tunic every
specifically
turn.
can't use. Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. That chess piece isn't going anywhere as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah,
I like it as that.
how's the Bright Lights version doing on that
I'll tell you. I'll let you know here. The Bright Lights version says it is at 24.
What?
That's
$28 if you want shipping.
honestly,
so
that's great. Mechanologist is such a good
Wow.
hero to get people into. Like Max and Dash IO are great heroes to start the game in.
Oh, HyperX, if you really wanted to play that, cheap as hell right now. That's what I'm saying. Like these
Oh, how much is HyperX? I need that. You don't have to look it up. I'll look it up.
Doing it live.
Yeah. I've got Fabry open.
I want you guys, but that's the
Oh,
mentality.
the EA is $60. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That EA $60 being $60, and when it becomes relevant, listen to me. I'm not even joking. This is how the market works.
The rainbow
when it becomes
is 13.
relevant. Yeah, when it becomes relevant, the rainbow will be like 25, 30, and the other one will be, whatever. But there will be an increase in value, and so it's not a bad idea to say, oh, I want to get them low. What is the first thing Prism players did when she LL'd? Probably, right? I mean, even he talks about this too. Flukenbox, the guy's a genius. They went and foiled the Prism decks out. Why? Because the prices crashed. Now what happened? She's good again. All the prices are skyrocketing. Are you going to find those EAs from those old EA promos? No, you're not. Unless you want to pay an arm and a leg for them right now with all the other Prism simps out there.
I mean, they did reprint a bunch of extended art heralds and stuff, and
but they're not they're not the same.
I think
they're not the rainbow foil versions.
I think they're different versions.
Yeah, they don't have the. That is the one deck that everybody goes, I got to foil. You know how much those Marvels are? They're out of control. Some of those things are $160, $180, $200. Those Marvel Angels, like, I'm serious. They're only going to go up. They're only going to go up. But the last thing I want to talk about outside of that is a card that this is a good example. Diadem of Dream State. No use. Zero use. Has no use whatsoever right now, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. No use. Right?
Yeah.
It's $5. I'm not saying buy 1 million of them. Okay.
Ow,
I'm saying if you ever thought this was
gonna your legendary.
I know.
Beautiful card.
$5
$5.
$5. The cold foil EAs. The cold foil EAs are 25. But I have a buddy who I trade with pretty frequently who values all EAs at 100 because he thinks that's what they're in their prime, in their peak. That's what they should be worth. Now, granted, some cards will go way higher than that, like Dyadic, for instance, was way higher than that. Redback Shroud for a second jumped to 275 and was selling for EAs when the whole assassin thing was going on. I still am waiting for the assassin that will use Redback because that EA is going to absolutely skyrocket the second. That's one of the most beautiful EAs I've ever seen. Redback Shroud. Yeah. But these are the cards I'm talking about. I'm not saying buy 1 million of them. Just buy one. Have one. Oh, look, I have my Diadem. Whoa, it's relevant now. I'm playing the hero. I don't like the hero. I've just generated value off the. I'm not saying you have disposable income to go buy every single one of these, but like there are some cards that probably have interest. Like this is the collector part of the game. Collect the cards while they're low because they will have relevance later on. In this game, at least, because I can tell you that I literally go, how are they going to make this card relevant? And I never saw any Dynasty cards worth a damn until after these last two sets. Dynasty has become, well, minus the Fabled, Dynasty has become one of the hottest sets I've ever seen. Every single one of those Majestics went up. Because the heroes keep getting released and stuff.
Majestics are pretty good.
They got even better. With the Brutes, they got even better. LSS is literally looking at past sets, I promise you guys, and going, oh, this doesn't have any playability. How do I make that playable? ELE and Everfest right now, absolutely, Tales of Aria, all sunk so low price-wise. Just wait.
Literally the entire card pool is unplayable.
Everfest First Edition will actually have a really big impact.
Everfest not so much, but Tales of Aria, like almost every card in the pool is unplayable.
For now. When it comes back, it will. I'm telling you, the second
Earth, Ice, and Lightning Wizard in the All Wizard set.
You're telling me the second a hero that can't use Rampart or Ram's Head comes back and that card doesn't go back through the roof? That is the most broken shield offhand I've ever. If they don't ban it, it'll skyrocket again.
It won't be banned.
Next,
Well, then-
we get an Earth Guardian, and it comes right back. Crown of Seeds,
Yeah.
Rampart.
Oh God, please stop. And then Heart of Final because it's a full fatigue build. Oh no.
Yeah, just ult him again. Ult him without the ice.
But wait a minute. Guess what becomes relevant? Poison the Well. I knew it. I knew this would all come full circle when they bring out the anti-life hero that's supposed to counter fatigue. I can't wait.
We're gonna have to put out a bounty for someone to actually like kill someone with Poison the Well.
With Poison the Well. It'll happen. You'll see it. Just like somebody will actually use Morlock Hill in a Blitz game and live because Minerva dies in the arsenal instead.
Meta-driven cards. Yeah. Just
story-driven games. That's what I'm here for.
Story-driven cards. Like
story-driven. Like Slay.
Hold on. Slay is actually a little better now.
Slay?
Because Slay. Okay. I know that Vincent's already good at killing angels, but you know what's better than popping it with one of your rune chants? Killing the Angel of Erudition when it swings at you. They draw 2 cards after banishing a card from Soul, and then you kill it, and it doesn't get go again. And you go, ah.
Is it just a random angel being slayed in Slayer?
Destroy target angel ally.
No, but in the art, he said it was story driven. Do we know which angel it is?
We just know that there's a battle going on at Solana.
I don't. It'd be interesting to know. Somebody out there with the up and up on the lore. If it is, you let me know. But that's it. That's all I got for that. I think that was. I don't know. I enjoyed
one
talking
more
about
thing to talk about that's kind of like market related. Wrap all the way back around to when we were talking about Judge Packs. Judge Pack Season 3 got partially announced. And
some of them are so sick though.
Sink Below Cold Foil.
Oh boy. So for any people like myself who thought that there would be any chance in hell that LSS bans any of the older cards, no, not happening. They literally doubled down and said Sink Below is fine. The way they're going to fix the game is to rotate out the older heroes that are soaking in the broken cards in a sense. Like, I don't think you can do anything about Command and Conquer or Sink Below now or Fate Foreseen. They're just in the game. They'll just reprint them. Yeah, they'll just reprint them to the high heaven. So we're not going to worry about that. So why? Cold Foil. Boom. You now have Cold Foil D-Reacts. That's your chase now. They're going to get reprinted. So don't worry, guys. You don't have to buy $1 Sink Belows or $2 Sink Belows from WTR Unlimited for much longer. I promise you it's going to get reprinted again in non-white border. We'll see.
Adult Teklevasen.
Yeah,
that's here. We've talked about. I get it.
I mean, he's kind of like one of the Flesh and Blood mascots in a way, right? Because
I mean, for Bright Lights, he absolutely is. So putting him behind this paywall, oh my goodness!
Come on, they did it.
Putting the most blinged out version at this paywall.
It's okay. He's never going to be relevant. It doesn't matter.
Yes, he will be. That's the point.
Yes, he will. At some point, yes, he will.
What if that's the long-term con? Guys, we messed up so bad.
They keep printing overpower cards. They keep printing overpower cards.
They're going to do the armor eventually. They're going to redo the Marvel armor. They have to. Hold on. They messed up.
He can't block the overpower cards with his armor, right? No, he can't.
Yeah.
He can't block. They keep printing overpower cards. He can't even fatigue. If a brute or a warrior or guardian walks up to Teklo Daddy with a whole bunch of overpower cards on their deck, he just shuts down. His armor just does nothing. It's so weird. I can't even think flavor lies what's actually happening. That his armor doesn't block these overpowered attacks. Then we got Drone of Brutality
Red. Once they become equipment?
What was that?
They're
always
once they become
equipment, they can't block.
They can't block in his hand at all, period. In overpower hand.
I understand that, but
wait,
once they are on the board,
yeah,
I think on the board, they're just equipment, right?
You could no, it's not cards from hand. Overpower is not cards from hand. It's you could only block with one action card. Period. Hold on, I will confirm.
Wait a minute. There is something that literally says you can't block with equipment, but I always thought overpower
was you can only block. This can't be defended by more than one action card. So literally,
but it's not action cards; it's equipment.
It is an equipment action card. It doesn't get
when it's in his hand.
No, when it's on the board, it's still an action card. It
Is it?
doesn't flip over or anything into a new card. It's an equipment action card.
It technically is titled action equipment on the card,
I
which
gotta
is
look
why
at the rules on that.
No,
one, 'cause
I
is
know
that
that.
doesn't
Well,
sound
no,
right.
because you got to remember the pre-release. That's how you get past all those shenanigans. Is like
and fender bender too, and things like that.
Yeah.
Things that say this can't be blocked by equipment literally means you can't block with that card from hand because it's still equipment in hand.
I got
I've
that, but
but
not
works the
being
same
able
way
to
than
block
on the
with
board.
equipment on the board because it still says action.
yes, you can't block with more than one action card. It doesn't say it has nothing to do with hand.
Somebody in the comments confirm or deny that for me, because I'm going to go back and double check after the fact. But you people out there in listener land, let us know.
Okay, Drone of
I like it no
Brutality
matter
Red, an absolutely unplayable card, a really great card.
What was the point of that?
Maybe
What
it
was
was
the point of
already
putting Drone of
planned.
Brutality in a cold foil version?
Maybe
Because it's coming back eventually.
maybe they planned season
No,
3.
it's not. They tried.
Maybe they planned season
No,
3 when
it'll
they brought
come
it back. When they brought it back,
It'll
they
come
had
back
season
again.
3 Judge Pack planned. They already had the print run going, and they go, "Ooh, wow, that was really bad Flesh and Blood. We're banning it again. Oh, what do? We're already putting it in the season 3 pack.
Oh well.
You gotta have some duds."
I mean, if you're going to incentivize the judges with these promos, with these incredibly beautiful promos, why would you want to put duds in those packs? I mean, not everything has to be fantastic, but everything should at least be good, right?
I'd rather get a drone than Tekla Vossen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I think drone will have to eventually come back and show safer form, even if it gets errata one. You know what I mean? And then you just have a non-errata version of it.
Watch someone go to Living Legend and figure out a way to just do something really broken with Drone of Brutality and just Living Legend Blitz.
Yeah.
I didn't think about Living Legend, but if you're going to have a deck that's literally playable forever, you might as well bling it out at the highest rarity. Maybe that was a play towards Living Legend, now that you mentioned that.
It might be, because the proclamation is that we're going to talk about is only UPF right now from the adjudicator hero.
Yes,
so.
proclamation production, but that's normal. They put a judge card in every judge pack.
Right.
Hence the name.
Yeah. We mentioned this before we started recording, but is this a brand new proclamation? Is this a brand new adjudicator card? Because I don't remember seeing this one before.
I don't even know what it does.
Oh no, what do you guys think the real chase is, though? Because let's be real. Look at Judge Pack Season 2. Vincett's your hero, so now it's Teklo. Fate for Scene was your Sink Below, now it's Sink Below, right?
It's 100% Sink Below.
No, I'm saying the other two cards. What's the Art of War? That's what I'm asking.
But help me, Donnie. What does the new proclamation do?
Let me pull it.
That's a good question.
I can't remember where I saw the post.
It is a adjudicator equipment offhand. Action, destroy this. Each hero may search their deck for an item with cost 0 or 1, put it into the arena, then shuffle. Each hero who doesn't put an item into the arena this way, it discards a card. Each hero may search their deck for an item with cost 0 or 1, then put it into the arena and shuffle. Each hero who doesn't put an item into the arena this way discards a card. That is really good.
Yeah. Like as a mechanologist player, yes, please. Take a card out of everyone else's hands and give me a Tekla core on not my turn.
Everybody needs to be running E-pots if you see somebody playing an adjudicator.
Right?
Have an E-pot in your sideboard. Because, that's just rude.
I like it.
I like it a lot. That's pretty cool. And then there's two of them that didn't get spoiled yet. They've got like question marks.
One of them is Art of War. We don't know what it'll be.
Something on Art of War's level, you mean?
That's what I'm getting at.
What would it be? What would it be?
That's what I'm saying.
Toma Findle?
E-Strike.
That's exactly what I was going to say was E-Strike.
Oh, man. Those will be worth a just...
Yeah, if E-Strike gets a cold foil version, prepare your wallet for pain. That's all I got to say about that.
You know how much a foil Toma Findle costs? It's like $3,600.
What?
For an alpha one, probably, right?
Yeah, for the alpha.
Yeah.
So a cold foil Toma Findle would probably be at least approach that, right? I still think the alpha cards are more than the judge pack cards.
Yeah,
well, no, that's not how this works.
Really?
Because people want shininess. Yeah.
Really?
Full foil Art of War destroyed
Foil
Art of War first edition foil. I'm pretty sure.
That's actually impressive because we've seen the anomalies like the Marvel Command and Conquer doesn't consistently outprice the foil Command and Conquer, even though it's Marvel. It's just there's less of the foil ones going around.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I still think those like really,
the problem
really
is,
rare
I don't know
cards.
if they're selling though.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Why would you spend $2,200 on a rainbow foil first edition Arcane Rising? You know what I mean? When you get the cold foil. This is my mindset. I want shiny. Shiny is cold foil.
Okay. Some people don't like foiling either. Like they'll go out of their way to get a first edition on foil. By the way, Level Up has a first edition Art of War non-foil in their singles. If you're interested. All right. I think that's it with the Judge Pack spoilers, and we have a few spoilers for heavy hitters. There was quite a bit of controversy.
Just a very few.
Yeah, because we got our second brute, and
don't sound so excited, man.
And as a lot of people were predicting, it is Rhinar Reckless Rampage. That is not a different Rhinar, and in fact, the token spoiled is the young Rhinar token from Dorinthia versus Rhinar pack. The new art for Rhinar, top notch,
stellar, absolutely stellar,
beautiful card. I don't know who was brave enough to try to drag Rhinar into an arena with people. Maybe he came to get KO.
Maybe. I'm sure there's got to be some story aspect to.
Isn't Rhinar a chief? Like,
he's the alpha. I don't know if he's the chief of the clan or not.
Man,
I'm not really up on the lore. We'll have to.
I know. Like thematically, you don't want to ever be anywhere near Rhinar. Like, his level of power in the lore is just like overcomes most other single hero in the game. He's just,
I don't know. Dorinthia seems to hold her own. They fight.
No, if you've read the lore, Dorinthia kind of got beat up by just a handful of normal brutes. She was younger then, so I don't know if that would happen now, but she didn't have Dawnblade yet. Well, no, she did have Dawnblade. Dawnblade chose her before she went out to the Savage Lands, I think. I can't remember. Anyway.
She's a lot more experienced now. Things are different.
So,
I like Rhinar.
When you saw...
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, when you saw that Rhinar was the hero that had been hyped up as the 5th hero in the set, what was your immediate gut reaction?
Wait, when it was Rhinar that was released?
Yeah, when you saw that Rhinar was the hero that
well, I texted, dude, I even sent you a message. I was so confused. I actually thought it was a joke. I thought this was a literal joke. I thought there's absolutely no way these guys literally sat around and said, we need a new brute. And they said, yeah, just throw Reinhardt back into the mix. Cause like, he's already there. It's not like nobody forgot. It's like everybody was like, oh, we forgot about Reinhardt. Guess no, Reinhardt's been relevant for the last, like, you know what I mean? So maybe this is like a way of saying, oh, Reinhardt's about to get so good that he's going to go. Cause like, here comes a nice new Majestic. Here comes a Marvel. Enjoy it.
Toys. Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking. Hey guys, I hope you really enjoyed how broken Intimidate is, because it's going to get really bad for a short span of time. He's going to win really quickly and then he's going to leave. Like, if that's what they want to do, hey, baby, give your time to your son. I don't care.
My initial
thought. Do you think Rhinar is the next Starvo?
Oh, I think Reinhardt, if he gets his way and the cards line up, I promise you, this is how all games are going to go. I'm going to have my 4 carts. They're going to disappear into my banish zone. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to take 16 to 20 damage. I'm going to pick my 4 carts back up. He's going to declare no blocks, and then he's going to do it to me again. And then my game's going to be over. And then I'm going to go, well, that was a really sweet game. You
just got to deal more damage back. My first impression of Rhinar was similar to that. It's just, oh no, Intimidate is in the limited format. Yay.
Oh yeah, that too. Forgot about that. Yeah, no, this is going to get real. It's going to get real grungy for just a little bit. But this is a really...
At least fatigue is not a viable format, because if you run into a Rhinar in limited and you're trying to play fatigue, he goes, what fatigue?
This is a semi unfair mechanic that I don't want to say unfair. It's a very there's no agency.
It's borderline toxic.
Literally
yeah.
Intimidate robs you of your ability to play the game in a responsive fashion. And I don't know how they fix it. And so if their way of fixing it, yet again, this is the whole Voltaire thing. If their way of fixing it is like Rhinar has to have his time in the sun, boy, let him.
And
boy,
boy are they giving him his time in the sun. Because
I'm telling
his
you right
new
now,
his new specialization
is bonkers.
really good.
His whole kit's bonkers to me.
So his new specialization is called Show No Mercy. It's a 3-cost red 6 3 block. So if it's fully into that great brute, like defensive, offensive package all at once, where you struggle to hit the resources, right? Because it is a 3-cost red. So it can't pay for itself, even close. You can't even use it to pay for itself with a tunic counter. It is a Rhinar specialization. It's notably not legendary, so you can run 3 of them. So you can have like this and 3 alpha rampages in your deck. When this attacks a hero, intimidate them. If the defending hero has no cards in hand, this gets +3. Okay, first thing to note. This card does not say anywhere on it that you have to discard a card to play it. So
it's the finisher.
It's at worst
it's coming
a
in.
2-card 6.
Which is, we take that.
It's often going to be a 2-card 9. And the reason for that is because when you intimidate them for 1 card, they'll have 3 cards in hand. If they lost a card to anything else, including another intimidate, when they block this out, they'll go down to 0 cards in hand and it'll bump up to 9 because it checks constantly. So in the defensive layer, when they block out and run out of cards in hand, it goes up to 9.
Sure does.
Crazy.
That is exactly why this card is so good. It literally says, I know you're going to have 2 cards. I know you're going to want to block it. Give me those 2 cards. I go to 9. I get over anyway.
Well, you took 6.
Don't over it, well, you took 6. It's a win-win no matter what. You get the bump up in 3 value and the spillover damage, or you get the 6 damage and they keep their 2 cards, and you're not scared of a 2-card hand or 3-card hand most of the time as Rhinar when you're doing the whole value. Like your fridge blocks well as Rhinar. Your turns are well, they're getting better, and you get to rob your opponent of cards in hand to play against
Imagine having to intellect penalty yourself. Imagine having to intellect penalty yourself because you don't want to give it the +3. So you have to like throw 1 card in front of it and then like armor to not die. And then keep a card you don't want to keep.
And then Arsenal.
Or you can just play Fi or some other aggro hero and just beat the brute down before you die.
Yes.
I mean, you're either racing or you're losing value.
Well,
that's how the games against Rhinar are going to be played.
And Rhinar hates
for a while.
Rhinar hates Ninja.
Yeah.
But I think this card is really, really strong. It's not unfair like Alpha Rampage can be. So I think they put it into a good spot where it's fun and it's very good without like just intimidating literally your entire hand away. So yeah, pretty cool. This card is going to be played.
Oh, 100%. There's no way it doesn't get played. It's a fantastic card.
We also got a rare spoiled with it, and I actually think this rare might have an even bigger impact than the Rhinar specialization just because it is a generic brute card, and that's Rawhide Rumble. It's a 2-cost 6, block 3, so it fits right into that curve, and it blocks 3 for once. It has the beat chest keyword, which says, as an additional cost to play this, you may discard a card with 6 or more. When this attacks a hero, if you've beaten chests this turn, intimidate them. So, note, if you've already beaten chests due to 1 card, you don't have to do it again. It is optional. So, this is effectively the same card as the Show No Mercy. If you've already beaten chests that turn, it doesn't get the +3, but it does get the free intimidate without having to discard.
Yeah, this is so I like what they're doing. I think Rhinar is still going to have a way to do the whole if that's the way you want to play, more of an aggressive OTK, but I think they're really shoring up the 2-card value play or the 3 whatever of brute and making more of his more impactful turns off of fewer cards, and letting Value Rhinar actually be a very successful deck. I think Value Rhinar with the Spike Blood Rush Bellows turns is going to be a very nasty deck to play against. He blocks incredibly well.
You know, with
Reckless Swings is a hell of a drug.
You know, with the Bonebreaker Bellow, the common brute action that was spoiled the 1 cost for beat chest to get +5.
Mhm.
So if you pay the beat chest cost, this becomes a 4-card 11 intimidate 2. It hits. Like, it guaranteed hits. 4-card 11 intimidate 2 off of 1 action point. That's if you're Rhinar, by the way. So that when you do the beat chest mechanic off of the Bonebreaker Bellow, you get the intimidate off of Rhinar's hero power, and then you play the Rawhide Rumble. You've already beaten chest because of Bonebreaker Bellow, so you put +5 on the 6, and then you intimidate again.
I think it's pretty clear they want Reinhardt to be this traitor, and then KO obviously the more berserk, wider sort of gambly, dice rolly, high rolly type deck where my berserk turn just goes on and on.
You know what? If you have barraging beatdown in your arsenal, this turns into a 5-card 16 intimidate 3.
I was gonna say, if you have barraging beatdown anywhere in some of these scenarios, like the game almost just
can end on the spot. Like,
right, because you're taking damage you physically can't block.
Better hope you have a D-react in the arsenal.
Or this set they start introducing more ambush cards to sort of pull back the power of intimidate. And by ambush I mean blocking from arsenal ambush cards instead of like a down and dirty. Something specifically that says this can only block from arsenal and ambush or whatever. And it's like a whatever.
I could see that for Bird.
I could see there has to be some, especially for I'm talking limited play too. Otherwise, your limited games are going to be the equivalent of, you
think they'll reprint Barraging Beatdown in this set? Do you think we'll get like an alt art?
Dude, if Barraging Beatdown comes back in this set, limited is going to literally be, hi Reinhardt, hello Reinhardt. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Every game is simply going to be wager. What's wager? You don't have any cards in your hand.
Oh, well,
I'm serious.
Hold up. KO is still good. It won't just be Rhinar.
I think KO is really good.
KO will have those options of pulling
berserk.
the blues and yellows that Rhinar can't use, right? And being able to use them.
That's true for consistency, but I don't think KO has enough without Berserk. I think KO is really reliant on the Berserk Blood Rush Bellow to maximize his efficiency. Maybe.
We'll see. We have not seen nearly enough spoilers to draw that conclusion yet.
That might token generates a lot of value. Like, it generates that might token that you're making every turn can generate a lot of value.
I don't want to sell any of these here short. Olympia might be a really fun warrior, and that might be the only thing I play, which is probably not going to happen.
We gotta see the gold payoff. Gotta see the gold payoff.
That's my favorite part. That bingo card. I think you like. There's something everybody's waiting for the gold payoff, dude.
What is gold gonna do? Like, are they gonna give? Maybe they'll give Olympia a final act.
That's what I'm waiting for too. What is the whole point?
Do you think?
The gold.
Donnie, do you think any of these cards are gonna make it into your Bard deck?
So far, no.
You're not going to wager some gold tokens? Isn't there a generic wager gold?
Yeah, there's a starting stake, right? No, you just get a gold token.
You just get a gold token.
Wait, isn't the starting stake just like good in Bard?
I mean, does it have go again? I don't remember.
It does not.
No, it's
I'd rather
you
play
just use it.
But yeah, no, the only attack that I run in the deck is Final Act, and that has a base power 1, I think. So, no, probably not running any of the wager stuff.
You're not going to run the universal wage gold?
Remind me of that one.
It's the 3 cost 7 that says when this attacks a hero, you may wager a gold token with them.
And wager, give me the details on the wager.
If it hits, you get a gold token. If it doesn't, they get a gold token. You can do some negotiations. Be like, hey, I want to swing this at you. Why don't you, block for 6 and let me get a gold token?
Maybe.
I'll break my gear and give you a bunch of stuff if you do. That kind of thing.
Maybe. I mean, there's some potential there, but probably not. I like playing Melody as just group hug.
Or your next attack this turn gets +3. When this attacks a hero, you may wager a gold token with them. You can wager a gold token on your final act. And that way, when it hits and you give it go again, so you can do another final act, you have a gold token there to generate a few more into your pitch. Hey, You're gonna see a bard in the arena soon.
Maybe that would be great. If there was a bard in this set, I'd be all about that. I would be so invested in the set. It's not even funny, dude. I love
Personally,
bards.
I think they should use that expansion slot to throw us a couple UPF, very
Oh,
UPF
please.
focused cards
Oh,
occasionally.
please.
Oh, they might think that.
I mean, we
like,
got those
they-
weird Unite cards like for old him when he was
We
LL.
did.
Like,
We
Yeah.
did. We got the Northern Winds card, and we got
The call down the
United
lightning,
We
like,
Stand as well, and Call Down the Lightning. Yeah, so there were some very weird cards. I think those
Ooh.
cards are probably the weirdest cards out of Dustle Dawn.
Starstruck is so good though.
Oh man, Starstruck's really good. One how good it is. It's limited in Living Legend. It's so good. No, it's because Starvo's so good.
Thanks, Starvo.
Thank you, Starvo.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
I think that brings us to the end of our podcast. Noah carried us this week. The content was a little
Yeah,
light, but
Wait, there was a lot to talk about with the Rudy stuff.
I thought that was fun to talk about just because I think players get the wrong mindset, or maybe collectors, or maybe not. I don't know, but that's the kind of game that Fab is. Just wanted to talk
speaking
about
of mindsets, it is New Year's. So what's your New Year's resolution, Noah?
What in Flesh and Blood
It could be
related
whatever you
or
want.
in life related?
Come up with
Man.
something.
Oh, I definitely want to branch out to some different heroes. Obviously, I know I play a lot of Dorinthia. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I know that armors are supposed to be more of a fun sort of theoretical time, and so I know sometimes when I just casually show up and high roll on Dory, it's not exactly the most thrilling. It's also really extremely unfun to play a new player, Dory, because I watch them try and block with 2 cards, and it's just like it breaks my heart. Like it really does. To know that no matter how they block that hand, it does, like, you know what I mean? But I can't tell you that. But like,
Yeah, you
that's
should have
what I'm
blocked
feeling
correctly
these-
several turns ago, so you don't block this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this. It hurts because I don't know how else to do it. I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, man, this is bad. So I definitely want to play different heroes at Armory. I think that's a good time. I've been playing a lot of Prism. I think once it comes out, I want to try it, give it a shot. If Brute becomes too toxic, or if I just can't stand the Doromai matchup, because I already can't stand playing against Doromai, it might be more of a Katsu focus. I really enjoy the methodical sort of combo play style, and especially if Brute's going to get really popular and Ninja's pretty decent. So I want to make sure I hedge my bet against the field. I feel like Ninja's going to be placed in a good place no matter what. I feel pretty confident. But if not, you might find me on Dory. So that's one of the resolutions. Other ones, I want to get a little healthier. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So obviously that's something that I've been working on. Not exactly the most fire under the ass kind of speed, but that's definitely something. So those 2 things, put a little more time into adulting this year. And actually put more time into the podcast and stuff as well. Not that we haven't been. I know it could be. I think we've got something. I think it could grow, and I think the YouTube's the next step. So I definitely want to keep focused on that and try and make 2024 the year of doing goals. Achieving. So hold me to it, you guys. Let's push for it.
Seems good.
What about you, Donnie?
Not really anything in the personal life. As far as Flesh and Blood goes, just play more games, get more practice. I mean, I feel like the only times that I really get to play games are when my brother's getting off work or at armories. I mean, I very, very rarely ever get to sit down and play anything on Talishar. I mean, maybe 1 game a week if I'm lucky on Talishar. And I feel like I could be better at the game if I just played more. And I want to see if that's true. I want to get more practice, get more reps, and see if I can actually be better. I want to be better. I want to do better. So, what's the most important words a man can say? I will do better.
It's true. Just be your better self every next minute, right?
Yep.
I think for me, I want to cash out at Pro Tour. So
Hoorah.
when I go to Pro Tour, my goal is to cash out. I don't necessarily need to get farther than that. I just hit, what is it, like top 64, maybe a little. Yeah. So that's my goal. Flesh and Blood wise, non-Flesh and Blood. I got a 3D printer. I actually want to not just rip things off Thingiverse. I want to finally learn CAD. One of my biggest weaknesses as an engineer is just not knowing CAD. It drives me up the walls. I have to ask other people to do CAD for me. So I want to learn some CAD so I can design my own stuff for 3D printing.
Cool.
That's cool. I think those are
Very cool.
I think both of you guys have some nice goals. Let's meet them. Let's let them just, no goals.
I'm a very goal-oriented person. It helps me stay focused.
I know you are. I was gonna say usually pretty much just tackle it. So we'll meet the goals.
I mean, what's the difference between a dream and a goal?
Well, I think usually you like
goals goals should be quantitative. Dreams are qualitative, right? That if you want a real answer.
Well, I think dreams become goals too when you when you actually start setting things into motion.
Yeah, when you set values,
they say,
values to
right,
achieve,
then they say
they become quantitative.
plans, and then right, and then you make a plan, and it becomes right. So like that's kind of the thing. I think as long as like that's the mindset, you tear it, you don't think about you have to get it all at once type of thing, because that's the downfall of everything is some type of instant reward that you're going to reap from somehow magic. You know what I mean? That's what all these resolutions, whatever they call them, that's why they all fall short, is everybody thinks there's some like instant reward you get from just saying I'm gonna, you have to physically put the effort in. It took you a long time to get where you are. It takes you a long time to get the opposite way. So no, let's do it. Let's have a good year. I think we're gonna have a great year. Episode 19, I can't believe it.
Yep.
20's coming around the corner
already.
We'll be doing YouTube. I can't wait to open up boxes. I have product. I just want to open stuff up on YouTube. I'll sit there all day and just open and talk. I don't care.
So today is episode 19 of the Sigcast.
That is correct.
At the end of this year, that should be episode 75, right? That'd be pretty cool. There's 50. Aren't there 56 weeks in a year?
No, 52.
52.
Is 52?
Yeah. You added a whole month.
If we get some specials in, we could even crank it up to 100. Do some end of the.
Okay.
I don't know about that. I struggled
think
to just get a -io video out, and I'm gonna do one for heavy hitters. My extra videos I think are about 4 or 5 per year.
Don't worry about it. I'll keep making my shorts. I love them.
We'll do some more content. Let's wrap things up though, guys. Noah, where can everybody find you?
At Big Max Fab on Twitter and twitch.tv/LutsoHeavy. Though we'll be moving to YouTube, but that's where we're at for right now.
Okay. What about you, Thomas?
At Wet the System Fab on Twitter, and if you see Wet the System anywhere else on the internet, that's probably me.
I am Draco Hominis 87 on Twitter and Discord and basically any other social media you want to try to look me up on. If you are interested in reading in written content, look me up on fabric.gg. I write several different article series, and the next one I think is coming out on the 15th. It's going to be a UPF Brew article.
Ooh.
Anything else, guys, before we wrap it up?
No,
I'm good.
I just got some wise words at the end.
Thank you, patrons. Thank you, everyone who's viewing and interacting.
Thank you.
Yeah, do it.
Also, thank you
guys
for the comments and thank you for the likes. It really means a lot.
And for the year of Great Flesh and Blood. We came
this
in
is my
kind of
first
December.
year, and
this is our first year.
Thank you to everyone in the community who made this wonderful.
Yeah, the card guys, all you wonderful people from all the tournaments. Min Max, Peter. Oh, I love you with all my heart, dude. I wish you the best. I'm coming for those heavy hitters boxes. Don't worry.
All right, so thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week, and if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, we are all siblings in cardboard.
Discard your cards. It's a new year. Do it.
New year, new me.